Men of Reddit. What's a seemingly small gesture from a woman that actually means a lot to you? Compliments, no matter how small. It's quite nice to receive them even if they are seldom. I always tell people, male or female, if you know of a friend that is going to the gym to work on their fitness, if you see improvement in either their physical appearance or just overall health, tell them that you noticed. You will absolutely make their day. They will probably go to the gym later on and set new personal records. Started seeing this new girl. Second time I stayed at her place. I had to work early, so I showered there before work. While I was in the shower, she got out of bed and made me a quick breakfast before I left. It was nothing extravagant, but I appreciated it so much. Warmed my heart. I like this one. Maybe it's the lack of desperation, unlike the rest of the thread. Not looking at me with disgust helps a lot. Small steps, man. Small steps. Anything. Personally, for me, Joel line from External Sunshine describes it best. Why do I fall in love with every girl who shows me the least bit of attention? Just saying my name during a response makes me feel acknowledged and welcome. This is probably going to sound weird, because it is, admittedly, but in my first ever relationship, my girlfriend and I never addressed each other by our name. We exclusively addressed each other in pet names, or, if it would be inappropriate to do that, by saying hey for attention. If we were talking about each other to a third party, we'd say names, of course, but we never said them when we were in earshot of each other. In fact, one time I overheard her use my name while bringing me up to a mutual friend, and I was stopped in my tracks processing how weird it was to hear that. This mounted when, while we were going through a rough patch and my depression was emerging suddenly and violently after a long dormant period, we had a dramatic confrontation in the rain and I was having a nervous breakdown. She held my head and looked me in the eyes and said, "I love you." Knocked my socks off. It was, at the time, the most impactful thing I'd ever heard. Of course we had said I love you a gajillion times before, but it was so different when my name was attached. It was almost like, for the entire relationship up until that point, I had yet to resolve that pre-relationship crush stage for fear of wondering if that beautiful girl even knows my name. It's weird to get so far into a life with one another and still have that tension lingering. It was like finally getting confirmation that I was real and human and recognized by the world and other people, and especially the person I loved most. If they're too busy to go out at some point, I really appreciate when girls get back to me with alternate plans. It's really exhausting feeling like I'm the only one doing all the chasing after meeting someone I like. My personal rule is, if I ask a woman out twice and she's busy, then I just assume she isn't interested as I thought. No hard feelings. I have to say, as a girl, it's most likely she's not interested, unless she thinks playing really hard to get is a good idea. If I want to actually hang out with someone but plans change or a day doesn't work, I try to find an alternate day or time or get back to that person after a week if it doesn't plan out. Touching me. I don't even mean sexually. I mean just putting your hand on my shoulder or giving me a fist bump or something. Even in a purely platonic sense, it means the world to me. Yeah, men don't get a lot of physical contact in our culture. I used to be able to count the distance between significant touch with another person, more than just a handshake or a poke on the shoulder, in months. Nowadays, I just hug people. Dudes, gals, I hug all my friends. It's great. This one might be more personal. I grew up with a rough life. I've had to take care of myself since I was 14. I provide for myself and don't expect anything from anyone. I like giving. I'm pretty resilient to accepting gifts and favors. It's just how I am. But internally, it would be nice in my life to not break my back to get every little thing done. I think it would be so nice for like even one day if I didn't have to do everything myself. It would be nice to be taken care of, like a meal or something, maybe coffee in the morning. As a guy who takes care of my crippled mother and my non-vet stepdad who's close to death, it would be nice to get the same treatment. I'm not asking someone to be my personal slave for a day. I want them to be the kind of person who likes doing things for other people. Someone like me. It would mean the entire world to me. Kicking about the house in one of my shirts. It's just awesome. Compliment on our appearance. It's so rare, but when it happens, we remember forever. How often do you really dress well and actively try to look your best? In college, I would wear a t-shirt and not shave regularly, so I would not look good until I had plans. Didn't get many compliments. Now I have an actual job, so I dress well and go through a routine every day and get at least a "you look nice today" every week. When they wink with both eyes at the same time. The smallest of gestures, so small, most women can do it without even thinking about it. There's a certain way a woman looks at you when she wants you that's really hot and makes you feel so appreciated. Also feeling comfortable enough to discuss normally taboo things. It makes you feel like she actually cares and trusts you enough to talk to you about it. A lot of these seem to be related to your girlfriend wife, so I'll give one for women in general. Make a small effort to stand up for men in public. If a guy hit a girl or insulted them, 99% of the time a guy will step in or at least be like, "Dude, that's not cool." And it would mean a lot if more women did the same. If you see a woman physically attacking a man, try to break it up because he sure as hell can't without the possibility of serious consequences. Also, if you hear women making fun of guys for some superficial thing like height, weight, their choice of outfit, etc., let them know. It means a lot to know that you think violence and objecting is wrong regardless of the gender. When entering a building with two sets of doors, you hold the first one open for her and then she holds the second one open for you. That tells you that she knows we're in this together. My girl does this and we both thank each other. Teammates. Talking about themselves to me. I feel special when a woman just talks at me for a while. As long as her tone is nice, she could probably call me a stupid, ugly internet moderator, and I'd still like hearing it. When she apologizes after saying or doing something hurtful or thoughtless. A simple "I'm sorry" goes a very long way in setting things right. I hate it when she beats herself up instead and comes back to me more bitter, when I was the one wrong. On Valentine's Day a few years ago, I was struggling and spent $16 of my last $17 on a small box of chocolates for my girlfriend. I had had a bad job at the time and it was all I could afford. Anyway, when she got home, she walked in with a box of chocolates from a coworker that was easily twice as big as the one I got her. She had eaten half of them and took my box and placed it in a cabinet. Needless to say, I was shocked. And instead of apologizing, she tried to rationalize that it wasn't a big deal because her coworker bought the other two women in her office chocolates too. And just like you mentioned, she beat herself up instead of apologizing and then came back to me bitter as if I wronged her. After my box sat in a cabinet for a week, I just ate them. Before automatic car locks, reaching over and unlocking the driver's door while I walk around to get inside after helping her in the car. I have a car with manual locks, and the first date I took a girl on, she did that for me, and it really meant a lot to me. 10 years later, and I have been happily married to her for 7 years, and I still have that car, and she still unlocks the driver door from the inside for me. Genuine compliments. Lots of guys may act like nothing phases them, but deep down we need affirmation of our own self-worth as much as any female. We're all human. I'm a vet, post-Iraq. PTSD, lost and alone, but married with kids. One of my coworkers lives right on the way to the VA. I forgot why, but I texted her while I was on my way to an appointment. She yelled at me asking why I hadn't let her know she would have went with me to my appointment. Nobody ever offered to do that, not even my wife. I broke down and bawled a little during the drive there. She thought nothing of it, but I thought it was the greatest thing. After a rough breakup, one of my best friends was really supportive of me. Well, he goes away on work trips from time to time, and my day was falling apart. I thought I'd go to the store to get some food in my stomach and thought of him when I saw a cute thank you card in the checkout line. I bought it, but the cashier didn't ring it up, and I noticed and went back to pay for the card. He refused and told me to just go brighten someone's day. I held myself together long enough to get to the car where I lost it all. Sniffled myself into starting my car and bawled the whole way home over that little gesture. Sometimes it's the little stuff. Also about to marry the friend I bought the card for, so a double happy ending. Burping. No, really, there's nothing I love more than sitting on the couch with my fiance and having her take a swig of beer and then belching like an absolute champ. No charm, poise, or grace. Just a petite brunette sitting in her underwear burping like a fat guy at a wing eating contest. I was working on her car. We just started dating and she told me her car was having problems. Ugh, it needed a new timing chain. So I'm out in our apartment parking lot changing her timing chain and she's inside all warm and cozy. I gotta say I was starting to feel a little bit used. Then she brought me a grilled cheese sandwich and a vanilla milkshake with bourbon in it. God bless that woman and her melted cheese. Hug, compliment, engaging in physical contact like holding my hand, smile, caring, small acts of kindness like making coffee for two in case I would like some. I am a simple man. The hug one really hits me in comparison to the others. Rarely happens, but when it does, it brings up my mood so much. Several things from my girlfriend. She'll let me go off and do things without pressuring me into taking her along. She'll come up behind me and give me a hug while I'm at the computer, waking up with me and making me a little bit of a breakfast. The way she interacts with and genuinely cares about my daughter from a previous girlfriend. It's the little things that kill. Gavin Rosdale. I'm half Middle Eastern. I appreciate when women don't treat me like a rapist, purse snatcher, or a noble savage.